huge weekend of football that did impact the Broncos. We're going to break down how the Broncos were impacted by that Chiefs-Colts game, plus looking at the Patriots and where things stand moving forward for the Broncos, because the Broncos are back, baby, and so are we. Big show starting now. To a playoff stretch. We're going to break it down on the DNVR Broncos Podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores, and we're presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365. Deposit $10, place $5 bet. You're going to get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up. We got Super Bowl 50 champ Bennie Fowler to my left, Ryan Koenigsberg to my right. We got Dion behind the camera, and Zach Stevens rocking and rolling with you. Fellas, how we doing? We refreshed after the bye?
Very refreshed, and shout out to you guys for coming to the holiday party. It's great to see you both.
Great night, bad morning.
Really appreciate you guys for coming, man. That was awesome, and just happy to just have this. I don't know. I wouldn't say working relationship, friendship now.
Yeah. With
both of you, and it was cool.
You say that's cool. I mean, you thank us for coming. Thank you for having such a cool party. And
great party.
Not just an awesome time. And Ryan said bad morning. I'd say bad day the next day. But really cool what you do, Benny. You bring a lot of your friends together to spread positivity, to raise money for good causes. It was so cool, and also a blast of a time.
Yeah, that's how you do the bye week right there. So we didn't have to work the next day.
But I was here. Some can, some can't. Some can, some can't.
I love it. Oh man!
But it was awesome. And then we had football on Thursday night, which maybe impacted the Broncos. We can talk about that. We had football all day yesterday. The biggest game started in the morning. Did you guys enjoy having a weekend of no Broncos? Or
I prefer it more when they play Monday Night Football. So it's like I get the weekend, but there's still something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Like it felt a little empty. I will say Shador and the Browns were kind of like my game of the weekend. So I had something that I built the day around. I would prefer the Broncos to play.
I would prefer the Broncos to play as well. I mean, now doing the watch-alongs and then having something to look forward to and then something to break down. I appreciate the Sundays and having something to actually look forward to. So I missed the Broncos playing this week, but also it just gave me a chance to look at all the teams throughout the league, especially the NFC, and what's going on over there. Watch the Kansas City game in full to see how they looked against Indianapolis. Yeah. So, yeah, it was good just to get an overall feel of what else is actually going on in the league throughout the league without, okay, all right, now we got to focus on the Broncos or the pregame show or the watch along. So looking forward to seeing these boys back, though.
Yep. And they are back in the building. So Sean gave them all of last week off. Starting on Monday, they had the entire week off. Guys, they're back in the building, but they're already gone out of the building. The Broncos came in for some short meetings this morning. Now they're gone. They have tomorrow off. Then they're back Wednesday to prepare for their Sunday night football game. This is a lot of time off. And really quick, before we get to what happened yesterday and how it impacts the Broncos, is there such a thing as too much time off?
Yes.
Benny? Because I'm looking at I'm happy for these guys that they get time off, especially because the season's not done in 6 weeks. There's going to be a playoff push as well. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, they've got 8 days off in 9 days. And the one day they work, they're only in there for 2 hours.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit too much time off, but I think these guys needed it. I think I heard Vance Joseph talking about, on his interview with Peter Schrager, just how many games they played in 39 days or something like that. It was 8 games or I don't know, something like that in a row in 39 days. So I think the Broncos definitely needed it. I think they needed the mental reset, but now it's go time. You got 6 weeks left. Yeah, I guess the meetings this morning were to install the first initial game plan for Washington. Hopefully the guys stayed after and got a little lift in or a little run. I'm just worried about the conditioning aspect of things and soft tissue injuries. You don't want any soft tissue injuries these next 6 weeks. These next 6 weeks are you're playing for the number 1 seed, and then just the rhythm and timing that you need, especially offensively and special teams wise, just going into late December, January, that you want to be hitting on all cylinders.
It makes me nervous. It does make me nervous. I mean, any Denver sports fan remembers what happens to the Rockies.
Yeah. You know,
October, man. They had 11 days off.
Wait, I don't know.
So 2007 baseball season, the Rockies are almost completely out of the playoff picture. And I even remember watching the game before one of the games. They were just like, well, they pretty much have to win out to have any chance of making the playoffs. Well, they win 16 out of 17 to finish the season, get into a extra game for a play-in game.
Game 163.
Win the play-in game, sweep the first round, sweep the second round, sweep the third round, and make it to the World Series against the Red Sox. But what happened was the Red Sox were down 3-1 to at the time the Indians, and then they came all the way back to win, and the Rockies had just swept the NLCS, so they had to wait for that whole series to go, and it was 11 days of just waiting around to see who they were going to play, and when they came back, the magic was gone.
And it was the hottest team in sports, just like the Broncos are now.
That had to be the most insane thing ever.
It was,
as a fan.
Yes.
There's 2 seasons of my life that are the most fun as a Colorado sports fan in my entire life. It's Rocktober and Tim Tebow's season. Just because they were both
I thought you were going to say 2013.
Well, no, see, but at least for me, when there's no expectations, it kind of makes it that much more fun. And when you're so much the underdog, both those seasons, come on, you have Tim Tebow. No one, including John Elway, didn't expect him to win anything. In 2013, it was a blast, but it's you're up 10 points against the Jags going into halftime, and the crowd's booing them.
I think it was
because they're
3.
Okay, they're winning, and they're but it wasn't. They weren't winning enough, so it was the expectations are just so high to get to.
100%, yeah. It's always the season. Right now is actually one of those seasons for the Broncos where they are exceeding our expectations, and it will be hard for them ever to do that in this era again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's why you have to enjoy these ones, because it's okay, this is fun. We weren't expecting 9-2, and but yeah, so it makes me nervous. I think it always will make anyone nervous when you're on a roll and then something changes. But I have to believe that these guys took this time off seriously. There's times, I'm sure Benny can explain this, when you have a bye week and your team is really bad, they are just oh my God, we have to get completely away from football. I'm going to go party and have the time of my life because I got to come back and do this for 6 more weeks after this. Mm-hmm. I don't think that would be this type of approach. I'm sure they went out and had fun, and they should, but hopefully they're getting a workout in every single day, getting some film in every single day, because they believe in what they're doing, and they know that they're really close and have a chance to do something really special this year.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I think my first couple of years, when I think back to the bye week, number one, I was super young, so I went back to Michigan State. I had fun for a day, and then I flew back to Denver. So I didn't stay anywhere. I didn't go on vacation for a week. So fly out on Friday, go to Michigan State, went to a game, had fun, and then flew back on Sunday, and then it was back to business. I was such a young player. It's hey, number one, keep your job. And then the year we won the Super Bowl, it was more so I had now become and emerged somewhat as a third down receiver. Me and Jordan Norwood were the slot guy. So it was more about me staying on top of that and being a young player. What do I need to know? What do I need to understand? And body was a little bit beat up, and just kind of working through that. And I think that's what these guys are doing right now. I think they might have went away for a little bit, and then they came right back. I was texting with Talanoa, and just because I wanted him to come on the show, and he's spending time with family, but I don't know if he actually left. Mm-hmm. I didn't ask him details, but it's hey, spending time with the family, catch up, family time, and then back to work. And these guys are just really getting their bodies ready, because I want to say now the season begins, but there's no more breaks now.
Yep.
Yeah, you got 6 weeks and then maybe a potential break.
You might be able to earn one. Yeah.
You might be able to earn another one, but now you're thinking, all right, we got 3 months left. you're no longer thinking 6 weeks.
Right.
Like, we got 3 months left of the season, and like, we have to be completely focused and all in.
And we did see a couple of guys. We saw a couple of guys on social media go to Vail. So just a short little getaway. We saw
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so
Yeah.
responsible.
It's very responsible with their wives too. We saw, I think Marvin Mims and Nick Benito did what you did on your bye. They went to Oklahoma for the big Oklahoma football game there. And then Zach Allen had a charity event on Friday where he handed out a bunch of Thanksgiving meals, which was really cool, to families in the Denver area, and asked him if he was going anywhere. He said, absolutely not. I just want to stay home, work out, just like you said. He said, we just had so much travel in the past 2 months, and we have 2 road games coming up, which means 4 flights, I guess, plus an extended weekend this weekend. We'll talk about that for the Broncos in a little bit too. And he just said, just relax. So it really seems like the Broncos did take this seriously. The worst thing that can come out of bye week is news, and there was no news.
Well, and like, I assume Sean Payton said to them what I always see Coach Prime say to the Buffs, which is like, I'm going to give you something, but I'm going to expect something in return. And that is like, when we get back here on Wednesday, I need 100% attention, everyone locked in. And I also wouldn't be surprised if he said, like, we better not come out flat on Sunday Night Football. And if we do, it will not be like this next year. You know, like, you better come out with energy. You better not, come out flat because I gave you all this time off, and because I'll remember it and I'll regret it.
All coaches have that saying, don't be that guy on the bye. Don't be that guy. You hate to bring things like this up, but the guy from the Jets that I guess they had their bye week, and he was out all night partying, and he ended up getting shot. I don't know if he's in critical condition. I haven't heard anything update, but you hate to see things like that on a bye week. So hopefully, Broncos come back healthy, strong, ready to go, focused. And
one of the things that they're going to be pursuing now, and Sean Payton made it official today, is their eyes on the number 1 seed. And this weekend, guys, I think it was good news what happened on Sunday. Let's talk about this Chiefs and Colts game. Did it play out the way we wanted to? Did it not play out? What do we think of the Colts? What do we think of the Chiefs? And then also throw the Patriots in there. And let's dive into that conversation after I give a shout out to our friends. With the holiday season here, I have the perfect gift for you to give any man in your life, or yourself if you want, and that is our friends over at Brunt, because Brunt is the boot that is built for you. In fact, it was started by Eric Jared, who grew up blue collar and started Brunt Workwear after his friends in the trades kept telling him the big brands had stopped listening and hadn't changed in over 100 years. So he built the shoe built just for you, exactly what you're looking for. And with the temps dropping, with the holiday season coming up, now is the time to treat yourself or the hardworking man in your life to real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts and get him something built to last. Brunt Workwear. And our listeners get $10 off their entire order with code DNVR at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com, and use that code DNVR. Order today and let them know you heard it on the show. It's the holiday season. Go check out our friends over at Brunt. And also, you got to check out our friends over at Factor. It is the holiday season. Whether you're giving gifts or receiving gifts or having parties, you are going to be busy, and you don't want to put you don't want to put meals to the side. And our friends over at Factor are going to hook you up with convenient, delicious, healthy meals that just show up right to your door. And our friends over at Factor are going to give you 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for an entire year if you go to factormeals.com/DNVR50 off and use that code DNVR50 off to get 50% off your first box plus that free breakfast for a year. That's code DNVR50 off over at factormeals.com to get delicious, convenient, easy food sent straight to your door. I absolutely love getting Factor because it is healthy. There's so many veggies and it is fresh. So go to DNVR or use that code DNVR50 off over at factormeals.com. And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Okay, so I saw that you guys on Friday talked about it. Mm-hmm. Chiefs, Colts, who you rooting for? Put out a poll on Twitter after. I think it was like 70% of fans were cheering for the Colts to win, 30% for the Chiefs. Ryan, you're shaking your head. I don't like, so I can see the positives of both sides of this.
There's just no way you were sitting at home talking about go Patty, go, like go get him. Like there's no like that's bogus if that's what you were doing at home watching that game. I just can't get with that at all. So I was kind of watching it like every time something happened, I'm like, okay, all right. Like I'm definitely rooting against the Chiefs because that is the way my brain is wired. But when they won, I'm like, all right, I see the positive in that for the Broncos, which I think was the right way to approach it.
Well, and Ryan, that's how I was.
The positive is the Broncos getting the 1 seed.
Yeah, because they were not going to have the tiebreaker over the Colts, but they very well could have the tiebreaker over the Patriots.
Yes, exactly. And Ryan, to be honest, because I am going to make the pitch that yesterday was good for the Broncos, but going into that game, the thought was if you can just eliminate the Chiefs, that's probably the number one priority. But I've
because it's eliminating because you hate them, not because you can't.
No, because I don't think this is not a Broncos specific thing. This is in every team in the AFC. You don't want Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs just because all we've seen him do, he's always made the AFC Championship game. And to me, that is scary. So I think that I could have this view if I'm the Bills, if I'm the Ravens, if I'm the Colts. Just if you can eliminate Mahomes from the playoffs, let's do that.
Yeah, that's how I felt as well. And I don't know if they would have fully been eliminated from the playoffs, but it would have made their path way harder.
Yeah.
No one wants to see Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. That's just like
I do.
Whoa.
Tell
me.
I don't think anyone that is on a team wants to see.
I just enjoy watching them play.
Well, yeah,
I enjoy.
No, I'm saying no team wants to play
yeah.
against him in the playoffs. Like football fan.
I think
sure.
Sean and those guys. I don't think Sean's ducking any smoking. If you had to play a team a third time, why not a team in your division and a team that you physically have been beating them, and you have been his worst nightmare for the last 2 years.
But at the same time, you're facing an elite quarterback and an elite coaching staff 3 times. That is not ideal.
I hear you.
To Benny's point, though, who was a better team last year? Kansas City last year or Kansas City this year?
I would say Kansas City this year is a better team
Than last year.
Yeah, yes. The record doesn't say that, but I think, not having Rashid Rice, and I think overall this is a better team. I mean, they have better yards, they score more points. They just haven't been able to win the games, the one-score games. They haven't had the luck that they usually have, or, sometimes the refs, they miss a call or they give them a call. They haven't been getting that this year, but yeah.
I'll say it this way. I always want the path of least resistance for my team. I'm not like you got to beat the best to be the best. Like, no, you just need to win the game that's in front of you. And like people talk about it with the Nuggets championship all the time. Like, oh, they got lucky with the draw. It's like, do you see that banner up there? That banner does not care who they played in the playoffs.
And circling back to how Sean wouldn't be afraid. I don't think Sean would ever be truly afraid. But last year, the day after the Broncos lost to the Bills in the playoffs, so this should be when you're like most down on yourself, Sean made a comment about how if they had beat the Bills, they were going to beat the Chiefs. And so he's certainly not afraid. He took a direct shot at the Chiefs after losing in the playoffs and being eliminated. He wasn't afraid to take a shot at the Chiefs right there. So I don't think he's afraid.
Right now they'd be scheduled to play Buffalo, right? Here?
The Broncos?
Yeah, Buffalo has to come here.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Wouldn't like that either.
I feel a lot better about them playing Buffalo this year than last year.
I agree.
Definitely.
And
it would be
100 times better.
Yep. I fully agree.
But number 17 is an animal.
He is.
He worries me and Cook worries me, but like our secondary, overall, our defense, we used to say this when we used to play Michigan, when I was at Michigan State, because they had Denard Robinson and they had Tate Forcier and whoever. It was always that person versus our team. And it's like, oh, no, there's 100 of me. There's only one of you will win the game. And that's how I feel now when you think about Mahomes, Jackson, and Allen.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's the Broncos team versus this player. This player can't beat our team now.
Yep.
You're getting me fired
I think
up.
I probably would have gone the rest of my life without ever hearing the name Tate Forcier again if you didn't say it just now.
I fully agree with that. And guys, what I think I saw yesterday is, and really sunk in, I guess I should include Thursday as well. The Bills losing to the Texans. The Texans were a 6-point underdog. I thought the Bills, that was the easiest play all weekend, was the Bills covering that. Boy, how wrong was I, because Will Anderson goes out there, has 2.5 sacks. They have 8 sacks, beat the Bills. Yesterday, we go and see Colts and the Chiefs go head-to-head. This AFC is so wide open, and I think what we're seeing is that the difference in the playoffs could simply just be home field advantage.
And defense.
Home field advantage and defense. So you look at the Broncos, Chiefs, and Colts. They're a circle. All 3 of those teams have beaten one another in some way or another. Broncos beat the Chiefs. Chiefs beat the Colts. Colts beat the Broncos.
No.
The only constant there is the home team won all of those games. And
I don't think home field advantage actually matters that much.
Really?
I don't. I think because you have all of these defenses, they all can travel. Like if Houston gets in, that defense can travel. It can travel and it can play. If the Broncos didn't get home field advantage, I wouldn't have the Broncos. If they, for whatever reason, if the Broncos were the 7th seed or had to go travel for all the games to get to the Super Bowl, I think they could go do it.
But the home field advantage makes your defense more powerful.
No, I agree with that, just based off of the noise and the snap count. But I think just the Broncos wins and where they've gone. I mean, they've gone to play at some of the hardest places. So I think the defense can travel. I think Houston's defense can travel. Kansas City's defense can travel.
So how much do you put into the stock, or maybe not at all, that the Broncos have won their last 11 games at home, all 5 this season? Their only 2 losses are on the road. Do you think that's maybe a little bit more coincidental then?
No, I think those are legit wins. I think the Broncos have a unique advantage just because we are at altitude, and Broncos fans and like how crazy they are, especially in the playoffs. But I don't think that just because we do have the home field advantage, like I said, I've seen this before on the teams that I've played on.
Yep.
My rookie year, home field advantage didn't mean anything to Andrew Luck. They came in here and they won. We were a better team.
God, I hated that game.
And I saw it during COVID too, when I was playing with Sean and we had the number 1 seed and we lost at home. Like, it just depends on who the quarterback is and who's coming in there. And like, what is their experience? Like Patrick Mahomes has played in every environment. Home field advantage won't matter to him. It won't matter to Josh Allen either, I believe. Josh Allen has played out of his mind on the road in playoff games. Their defense hasn't, but he has.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. But I do think you want every little advantage you can get, and obviously that would be one. I think even more so for a defensively led team.
Benny, we talked about this last week, a week ago, actually, and you were talking crazy, I thought, on the show. You were saying how, like, maybe you don't want the 1 seed so that you don't have the bye, so that you don't get away from things and that you keep your momentum. But you convinced me. When you were talking about it, I was like, okay, I can get behind this. Then a couple days went by, and I wasn't around you for a second. I'm like, no, he's talking crazy again.
How many number 1 seeds go to the Super Bowl?
But this year I think is different, and it's because of who is going to be 5, 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5, 6, 7 is going to be scary as hell coming into these playoffs. And like, it's probably going to be Bills, Chiefs, Ravens.
At 5, 6, 7.
Yes. Meaning if you get the 1 seed, you just get to avoid playing one of those. Like it's essentially like you automatically beat one of them. You know what I'm saying? And so then you just, like, in a normal year, if you were telling me like, oh, you're going to get, like, I said this on the show the other day, like if you're going to get the Tom Savage Texans in round 1 as the 7 seed, like, yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. Like, you're just kind of getting like a rep in. This year, it is not like that.
Ryan, you hit it with the 6-7.
I don't know. I think, and this, I'm only going off personal experience of the bye weeks and why that bothers me a lot. But I mean, if you don't get the bye and then you knock off a Mahomes or a Burrow or an Allen in that first week,
yeah,
they're still coming here.
You guys are right.
You know, they're still coming here and they still have to play here. But you get that win, and then you just keep rolling. I just, with those three quarterbacks, do you run into an Eli Manning type situation where they get in the wild card and then they go on the run? Eli went on both his Super Bowls. He went on the road 3 straight weeks, backs against the wall, us against the world. And then you go to 2 Super Bowls like that. And then you saw Tom, his last Super Bowl, that's exactly what they did. On the road at Washington, on the road at New Orleans, on the road at Green Bay, and then win the championship. Like, that's what type of thing could happen with, I would just say more so Mahomes because he's already done it. But, like, all he has to do is get into the dance and then go on a run. So why not knock them out in the first round if you can? So it'd be curious to see. I would, what does New England do? Do they try to get the number 1 seed? I don't think they have much of a home field advantage.
I love to hear that.
I think depending on who's the 7th seed, you have somebody lose on purpose.
To dodge this. So I was the chat's right. I was wrong. The Ravens are going to win the AFC North. So they'll be the 4 seed probably. So it's going to be KC, Buffalo, and then one of like Houston, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville. Yeah. And I guess if you were to get that one of them, then it's not as bad. Yeah. But if you end up getting Kansas City as the 7th seed, you're right. You might see whoever has the 2 seed try to dodge them.
Yeah.
At what point, though, do we accept these 3 teams? Because I agree with you, Ryan. I'm scared of all 3 of those teams, the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. At what point do we...
We're not scared of them. We respect them now.
I'm scared of them. I'm scared of them.
You'd be scared of them. You'd be scared of them last year.
So okay.
You can go. Ryan pointed out last week that the Broncos have beat the defending Super Bowl champ,
defending AFC champ,
the runner-up, best offense, best defense, blah blah blah. They beat all of these teams. So now you just respect. These are all about matchups now, and these are all about what I was going to be showing in the inside scoop. I'm going to be showing all of the big plays that you've had against all of these playoff teams. You've already played these guys.
I love it.
And there's still more out there. So, like, scared? No. Respect is definitely there now, but they're just as scared of you.
Yeah.
If not more.
So at what point
scared,
do
go to
we...
church.
Quoted by, or Bo Nix quote. At what point, though, should we lose some respect for them? Or because all of these guys have had success to some level, and I'm talking about the quarterbacks of those teams, do you never lose respect? Because in all honesty, in the playoffs, Josh Allen's had some success, never made a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson's had some success, never made a Super Bowl. Obviously, we know what Patrick Mahomes has done, but at what point do we just say, like, oh, no, actually, these are 6-5 teams right now. Like, let's treat them like the Houston Texans.
Yeah, you just can't. You just can't with those quarterbacks. But, I mean... I don't know. Your record shows who you are. And those teams are very imperfect. And that's why they found themselves in these situations. I think everyone has like a side eye on them to be like, are they going to turn it on? Especially the Chiefs who have like had lulls in seasons before and then just turned it on and started mowing teams down. But I think one thing that should be mentioned is like the Broncos wins are aging better every week. Everyone's talking about this Chiefs win yesterday and like kind of like excusing the Colts for losing. Like, yeah, well, the Chiefs were desperate. Their backs were against the wall. Like, what did you expect? And it's like the same was the case the last week. But I don't think the Broncos were getting the extra credit for the Chiefs having their back against the wall the same way that the Colts are being excused for the Chiefs having their back against the wall. Like that Cowboys win looks a little better today. The Texans win looked better after Thursday night. I don't know if you saw it, but like, Pardon My Take, like did a bit where they were like, we have to completely redo our breakdown of the Broncos beating the Texans the week before because we kind of just like tossed it aside. And the Texans just showed that they're no joke even without CJ Stroud. So like each week the Broncos wins, I think, are aging a little bit better.
RK, you bring up a really good point. And look, Daniel Jones is a really good friend of mine and somebody and was a teammate. But in the fourth quarter, he did not make those plays. And in the fourth quarter last week against Kansas City, Bo Nix made all of the plays, all of the throws. That's a sign of encouragement. So, yeah, the Broncos wins look really good. Look what Dallas did to Philly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Crazy.
We came back against Philly, and that was a great win. But what Dallas did to Philly,
and how
we blew the doors off of Dallas.
And how good did George Pickens look in that game? Looked absolutely unstoppable. Same with Dak.
And that just shows how great the defense is here.
Yeah,
because Pickens might be playing the best besides Smith and Jigba.
Yep,
might be second best receiver right now. If he's more talented than everybody right now in the top 5 of receivers. But I mean, those guys didn't do anything against the Broncos.
No, they did not. And okay, so someone's calling me out saying Zach and RK don't sound confident enough for me. I'm not scared of anyone anymore. So Benny and Ryan convinced me. The Broncos are the 1 seed, or I guess technically right now they're the 2 seed because the Patriots have not had their bye. So the Patriots technically are that 1 seed. Benny, this might be the perfect situation for you. Broncos are the 2 seed right now. According to ESPN's playoff predictor, the Broncos are scheduled to finish as the 1 seed with a 14-3 record. That is insane.
That's crazy.
Where the Broncos are right now with 6 games left. Benny, you mentioned the inside scoop. Let's dive into the inside scoop after we give a shout out to our friends. It is Coors Light season, and boy, did I have plenty of Coors Lights this past weekend watching football. And man, we got Thanksgiving coming up this weekend. If you need to bring something to a Thanksgiving party, to a Friendsgiving party for a long weekend, you got to stock up on Coors Light because we got football all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. We call that a Coors Light weekend. And Coors Light's all about chilling. So this weekend, you're going to be chilling with friends, family, football, the ultimate combo right there. Coors Light needs to be in those moments as well. And you can get Coors Light delivered straight to your door by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light and get Coors Light delivered straight to your door by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Make sure you celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer. And I mentioned we got football all weekend. Really, I mean, starting Thursday at 11 a.m. If you want to get in on the action, our friends over at Bet365 are going to hook you up because if you use the code DNVR365 over at Bet365, you place a $10 or a $5 bet after depositing $10. You're going to get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up. So make sure to scan the QR code on the screen or download the Bet365 app. And we got NFL 3 games all day Thursday. Hope Joe Burrow's back for that game, and I'm taking Bengals +7 against the Ravens. We got a Black Friday game on Friday, and then we got college ball all day Friday and Saturday. So make sure to get in on the action by using the code DNVR365 over at Bet365. And make sure to use that code to get $150 in bonus bets after placing a $5 bet after depositing $10. Must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, once help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Ryan, line caught your eye over at Bet365?
Yeah, Broncos 6.5-point favorites on the road.
That one's fishy.
Well, I just think that the Broncos are. You think it's too low?
Yeah.
No, I think that's high. Not too high, but I just mean that's a big spread. I think the Broncos are finally starting to get a little respect in these conversations. I will say they're still, I think, 7th in odds to win the Super Bowl. Which is very low for me. Like, they still have the Colts ahead of them. They still, of course, have the Chiefs ahead of them because the Chiefs, everyone wants to bet on them. So the league has to protect the books have to protect themselves. But I think they're getting a little disrespected in those odds. But I think making the Broncos 6.5-point favorites on the road is a sign of respect.
And I guess right now, Jaden Daniels, we don't know if he's going to play or not. Did you see the controversy in Commander Nation surrounding what he posted on Instagram last night?
No.
He posted a photo, and it's some Star Wars or Avatar thing or something. But essentially, what people are saying,
need that context.
If you want to pull it up, Dion, but essentially people are reading into it as there's light at the end of the tunnel. And potentially indicating that he thinks he's going to be back this week. If I'm the Commanders at 3-8, I believe there's no way I bring him back to play
You're done
against
for the
this
season.
defense. Yeah, your season's over. Okay, so Ryan, you pulled it up. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't think it's from Star Wars.
It's from some movie. I'm sure someone in the Twitter chat knows right now. Let us know what it is. But if your star quarterback is back, that would influence the line. So 6.5 might be just a little hedging from Vegas.
Playing Jaden Daniels right now against this Denver Broncos defense should be considered medical malpractice.
I agree.
100%.
Just like Dan Quinn did the last time when he got hurt. He got hurt when they were down like 38-3 or something like that, and he was still in the game.
Yes.
And then Dan Quinn the next day admitted it was medical malpractice, coaching malpractice to have him still in.
Yes.
As we're talking about these second-year quarterbacks, what are you guys' thoughts? I mean, Penix is hurt, Daniels is hurt, but Maye, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, McCarthy. Oh my God.
Eesh.
I'm not gonna dive into McCarthy too much because he went to Michigan because I really want to pile on right now, but it is not looking good.
That stat line yesterday was remarkably bad.
Everything looks bad for him.
Yeah.
The advanced stats, the other stats, but
And
here's
that's doing it with like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, Kevin O'Connell calling plays like
Hawkinson.
I mean, yikes.
yeah. And speaking of Daniel Jones, they had him in the building last year. They also obviously had
And
Sam
Sam
Darnold. That is tough. But what I'll say about these second-year quarterbacks is there's been one of them that has been consistently healthy and good in the first 2 years, and that's Bo Nix. Jaden Daniels won Rookie of the Year last year. He deserved it. Bo was number 2.
Outplayed by Bo in the last 13 weeks of the season.
Yeah, you're 100% right on that. But now Jaden Daniels is hurt. His team is obviously not having success at all either. Drake Maye was fine last year, but not nearly as good as he is this year. Bo has been good, really good, great in both of these years. Caleb Williams was not very good last year. Now he has turned it on as well, so credit to him for on the upswing.
His highlights, I mean, he's got some really bad plays, but like he has some Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
He has some plays where you're just like, what?
And
How did he do that?
In both ways, good and bad.
Yeah.
Like, did you see the sack safety yesterday?
Like
That
terrible.
was- oh my goodness.
But then I saw him roll out and I saw him juke somebody in the pocket and I was watching him throw the ball and run. I was like, there's no one in the league who can do that.
Yeah.
Like,
his arm is so live. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Bo is going to kind of be the forgotten one nationally of this group until he wins something big.
till the first playoff win.
Yeah.
He wins a playoff win this year, and then he's like, I think it's him. Him and Drake Maye will be the cream that rises to the top in terms of the most consistent careers. Jaden Daniels will have his flashes. Caleb Williams will have his flashes. But I think Drake Maye and Bo will have the better careers and the longer careers. Number one, the ownership, GM, coaching staff, then the player, and then the rosters around is how I see it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And right now, only 2 of these second-year quarterbacks have made the playoffs. It's Jaden and Bo. Bo's on pace to be the only one that has made it both years, and only one of them's won a playoff game, and that's Jaden.
Well, Drake
right
Maye
there.
had his coaching staff fired.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they actually would have made the playoffs last year with. I mean, Vrabel's just an elite head coach.
Vrabel's incredible.
He's dope. By the way, a couple weeks ago we were talking about the Broncos game not getting flexed, and I was like, the world wants to see the Broncos. And then someone in the comments was like, this is like one of the most homer statements ever, blah, blah. No one wants to watch the Broncos. Well, that very week, Broncos Chiefs, 29 million viewers, most of the season in that window.
Yep. People want to watch the Broncos.
Now, of course, the Chiefs were pulling their end of the bargain in that as well. But people do want to see the Broncos. They are intrigued by this defense, and people are like Bo Nix is a hot button topic because some people think he sucks, some people think he's good. So like, it's good for TV. People want to see what's going on with the Broncos.
Well, and it
Chiefs
doesn't.
Broncos Christmas Day,
Oh,
40 million.
It's gonna do
Yeah.
numbers.
I think Chiefs Cowboys this week will do 45 million. I think Chiefs Broncos Christmas Day could do 40 million.
You also have Bears Eagles on Friday.
2 8-3 teams.
Yep.
2 teams in the All-City Network?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty darn good. And this doesn't matter, but for the national narrative, and Benny, you said once Bo Nix finally wins, or not finally, but wins a playoff game, that's when he'll be viewed differently. There's also, and I agree with that, but there's also other little steps that he can take. And in terms of getting a national change of how people view him, and it's playing good on primetime. Look, he didn't play good on the last primetime game the Broncos had, which was Thursday night against the Raiders. The Broncos won that game 10-7 because the defense was absolutely incredible. So then people that didn't believe in Bo Nix on national TV, then they feel like, oh yeah, I was right about him. They had another opportunity this Sunday night on primetime to be able to show the country that he has turned it around. Now, Ryan, I do remember your other prediction as well, that Bo Nix was going to beat Patrick Mahomes and ball out, which he did, and then turn around on Sunday Night Football and not have a very good performance. The Broncos still win, but it's not going to look good.
Like
so
an ugly one.
I hope you're wrong about that.
I do too. I've been right on all my prophecies this year.
Yeah. The most important thing is getting a win, but in terms of being able to change his narrative, primetime games really can influence that.
Yes. By the way, I have learned some context on the Jaden Daniels photo just from my timeline. Shout out to the timeline here. It says, this is the prison Bruce Wayne has to climb out of to become Batman once again and save Gotham.
I feel pretty good about my Star Wars avatar.
No. I would love to just talk to Jaden Daniels and say, hey, man, you're not saving anything.
Bro,
especially not this week.
After what they did to RG3, someone needs to come in and be like, not again.
Yeah.
We're not doing this
They
again.
got new ownership, so hopefully Josh Harris.
Everything's new.
Yeah. Hopefully Josh Harris and those guys are like, Magic Johnson needs to step in here. Bob Myers needs to step in. These are the advisors for the Commanders.
Because what's their record?
3-8.
So like,
yeah, you
gain nothing.
Nothing.
Except for, I guess, a more exciting Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and at this point,
it won't be that exciting.
It could be like
he could be
tragic.
He could get hurt. He's going to get sacked a lot.
Yep.
Like, Vance is on a roll in terms of the way you're not ready for that. Just sit down, man. We wanted you to stay healthy.
Especially with this defense having some time off. They're going to be fresh. I'm not worried about it. And in terms of like, are you worried about the rest? In my mind, that's all just about the offense. Did they lose some steam? The defense, the rest is only going to do them good. And maybe you get some players back this week as well, which we'll talk about later in the week. But this is not a time to have him play at all. I completely agree. So it's Marcus Mariota.
Yep.
We need a pick six.
Riley Moss.
That would feed
Pat
families.
Surtain.
Pat
Surtain back. Pick six Sunday night.
Oh my goodness. That would be awesome.
Put the cape back on.
Yes. Okay, let's get in to more of this conversation. Maybe dive into the inside scoop after that. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. But first, want to give a shout out to our friends. And also want to give a shout out to our friends over at Common Spirit Health and the Sports Medicine, because we're all going to be playing some Thanksgiving football on Thursday, and you want to make sure that you are prepared just in case an injury happens, but also make sure to get preventative care, because our friends over at Common Spirit have you hooked up. Whether you have an injury, whether you want to prevent an injury, which is always best, our friends over at Common Spirit have the information for you. So if you want to learn more about your health and ways to prevent injuries, stay safe, go to mountain.commonspirit.org. And they not only are our partner, but they're the Denver Broncos partner. They're the official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. And make sure to check them out, where they have so many locations. It's for weekend warriors. It's for Thanksgiving football players. It's for all of us over at Common Spirit. Don't let an injury keep you on the bench, or even better, get proactive about your health. For more information, go to mountain.commonspirit.org. They're the official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. And speaking of being the official partner of the Denver Broncos, Ent Credit Union is the official credit union of the Denver Broncos and us, and they make it so official that you can get the debit card with Bo Nix on it, with the Broncos on it. They've got a Pat Surtain pixelated one. It is so cool as well. So if you want to get the Denver Broncos debit card, you got to check out our friends over at Ent Credit Union. For every 15 swipes on your Broncos checking debit card, you get a chance to win home game tickets. Plus, you get 10% off food and gear on game days over at Empower Field at Mile High. There's no surprise fees. There's no reason to not switch over to Ent Debit Credit Union, where they will hook you up with everything Broncos related. And if you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head over to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by the NCUA. Membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card. Check them out. Ent Credit Union. And also want to tell you guys, the early access to our Black Friday sale has started. Diehards get the early access to the Black Friday sale, which is going on right now. So make sure to head over to our store, get all the Broncos gear that you need for a playoff push for yourself, for others. I got my Bo shirt LFB on right now. I absolutely love this shirt. And of course, we got all your Nuggets, Avs, Rockies, but everything Broncos you could want.
Up to 90% off. Everything's discounted. It's a great sale, and also a great way to just take care of all the Denver sports fans in your life.
Exactly, for the holiday season. All right, let's dive in to the Inside Scoop, which is powered by our friends over at Ent Credit Union. Go to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR and sign up for Broncos checking. Ent Credit Union is insured by NCUA. Membership required. Annual percentage yield. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card. Benny, take it over.
Somebody said if I get dialed in, can I get a cardio plan from Benny? For sure. Got you. Little zone 2 action.
Yeah.
All right. When I looked and we were talking about the Inside Scoop and doing the Inside Scoop, I think one of the things that I wanted to point out is that how far the Broncos have come in terms of who they've played, the plays that have been made, and against great teams, playoff teams, teams that we might see again. So right here is... we got Marvin Mims. This is a touchdown to Marvin Mims. I'm bringing this up, obviously, because we could play Indianapolis again. But Bo, Dion, you can go to the next slide. Oh, nope.
Just so you guys, there you go.
But we love to see touchdowns, and I think this is one of the most important things. Bo throws a dime right here to Marvin Mims. This is early on in the season. This is a playoff team. This is a great defense. Now, they've added Sauce Gardner to their secondary, but this is Bo making a play against a really good team early on in the season. And I think these are the things that now, when you do your self-scout during the bye week, these are some of the things that you start to look at. And I think one of the most important things is reminding yourself of who you are and who you've done it against. Because a lot of people will try to say, oh, you guys have had great games against Cincinnati and Dallas. It's like, no, Bo's made plays against some really good teams throughout the entire year. So I wanted to bring that one up.
That's a really good point, especially... you might see the Colts again.
Yep.
And that game in week 2 looks way better now than it did going into the season. Going into the season, it's like, are they going to have Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones? And Benny, I know he's your friend, but at that point, it was like, that's a losing battle either way, right there. And clearly, I mean, all credit to Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen for turning it around, because he is a legit MVP candidate. But at that point in the season, that didn't look like a very good loss.
But he was a candidate. That's over with now.
Okay, yeah. Just because someone's running away with it.
Well, Stafford's running away with it, and then he didn't play well.
Yeah,
It's
that's
over.
true.
Yeah.
Watching that game yesterday pissed me off, though, because I'm like, watching Daniel Jones miss throws that I'm like, this dude was making throws 10 times harder than this over and over and over again against the Broncos. That was like an all-time like best game of your life performance from Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he played extremely well. Yeah, we can go back to that next clip against the Colts. And this is the Sean Payton effect. You got a little Madden play right here. This is the signal right here that Payton used to do right here. So you have the pick play with Troutman. RJ Harvey comes and runs the flat route, and then Troutman ends up being wide open. But these things right here, so you're seeing Bo make a play, and then you're seeing Sean design some things, and Troutman scores right here. These are the things that I think they're going to go back to. And these are the things that we're going to continue to do going forward, because you can dress this up a whole bunch of different ways. You could do it with obviously you have Troutman and RJ, but then you could do that with Cortland and Troy Franklin, or Cortland and Pat Bryant. These plays are, you saw this play with Wes Welker, you saw it with Brandon Stokely, you saw it with DT&E, and Jacob Tamme. These are names that you can run that play a whole bunch of different ways. So these are things that now I think that the Broncos will start to continue to build off on.
I love it. And especially with a guy like Troy Franklin, who has really continued to develop. This was his breakout game against the Colts where he had 89 yards, but he has had more of those throughout the season, so he'll be even more comfortable come the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think there's some more on there. Dion, you want to pull up the next ones? You know, the Philadelphia game, when we think about this is a 1st and 10 right here, I think one of the most important things is that intermediate passing game. But this is we're making the comeback in the fourth quarter, and you can go to the next slide. But you have the motion, you got the orbit motion right here. Go to the next slide, and then you have Evan Ingram coming on the deep over, and Evan makes this incredible play. But we want to see the next 6 weeks Evan Ingram start to get more ingrained into the passing offense, the intermediate passing game. These are things now that I think that the Broncos will look at, and these are plays that we've done really well. We executed this as a high level. How do we get more of that?
I love that, and I'm happy that you brought up Evan Ingram. The two things from the offense that I want to see more of over these next 6 weeks is more touches for Evan and more touches for Marvin. Because, man, when I see Marvin with the ball in his hands in space, he's so good. It's like every punt return gets 10 or 15 yards more than it should, if not 40 yards more than it should. And I think that's something that Sean might just have in his pocket to release at the end of the season.
Absolutely. Let's go to the next one. This has got to have a situation. This that third down. Bo takes a step back. He loves what he sees and throws the ball up to Courtland. 50-50 balls are no such thing. When Courtland Sutton has an opportunity to go up and get the ball, I think they're more 95, 5, 90, 10. So this is against a good Philadelphia defense. Bo continues to come up and make a different play. We can go to the next one. Kansas City. This is my favorite play against Kansas City. This is only a 10-yard completion right here, but you see Evan Ingram coming in motion right here. Next slide. You got a stick concept. Bo goes from one. He goes from flat to stick, and then he hits Pat Bryant on the middle of the field, going to his third progression. That was last week in a big game for not only the Broncos, but also Kansas City, and you saw Bo play as calm as he's ever played.
Tony Romo and Jim Nantz said something on the call yesterday when talking about Patrick Mahomes, and they said, man, he's going through the progressions too fast. And they were saying that in a good way. It's the exact same thing that we've talked about and that Sean has talked about with Bo Nix. Like, they need to actually slow him down. But then they mention why it's a good thing is because it's hard to teach guys to speed that up. And it's almost impossible to teach guys to speed up. It's easier to slow it down. And I found that interesting that we've been having that conversation about Bo Nix, and they were having that conversation about Patrick Mahomes too.
Dion, and you could just pull up the last two clips from the Houston.
The Texans game where the Broncos, that win looks better, as Ryan said earlier.
And I think when you see things like this, so this is the play that Courtland ends up scoring on against, one of the best, second best corner in the league, third best corner in the league in Stingley, but does an inside release here, beats his defender, but Bo throws another dime. That's against the best defense in the league. And then we go to the next clip. Oh, this is another good one, but keep going. This is, Troy Franklin creating separation right here, but Bo throws a nice quail route, which is a deep out route in the Sean Payton offense, on time, on target against an incredible defense. And then the last one would be the RJ Harvey touchdown right here, where Sean does an incredible job of just scheming these things open. And right here, he gets the defender to settle his feet and then beats the defender, and then Bo puts another ball on the money. I am showing plays against playoff teams.
Yeah.
I didn't show any plays against Dallas or Cincinnati.
Tennessee.
We can do this.
Yeah.
Broncos can do this. You can go and you did that at Houston. You did it against a Kansas City team. You did it at Philly. You did it at Indianapolis. Bo has tremendous amount of ability. Sean and him are going to be on the same page. And this is what I think why Broncos fans should be really excited about the next 6 weeks and then the playoffs. It's out there and it's been shown. So that's the inside scoop right there.
I love the inside scoop powered by N Credit Union. I got to say thank you to both of you because I'm not scared of anyone now. I do want it to run through Denver, the playoffs to run through Denver, to have that home field advantage. But I mean, you can respect the guys that have done it before, specifically Mahomes, because he's done it in the playoffs. But in terms of being scared, you've beat Mahomes. The Ravens and Bills look so different than what they have. I mean, the Ravens, even when they win games, they're squeaking by the Jets. They're pulling games out that they shouldn't against really bad teams. and Lamar doesn't look like Lamar, and the Bills don't look nearly as good as they have been in the past. So
home field means nothing. No, just letting you know. I mean, Detroit had home field last year. They get that bye week, and then somebody came in there and put up 45.
That's
rookie.
true, but
a rookie.
Okay, so then what do you think of Zach Allen? Because he talked on Friday just about how loud the crowd was against the Chiefs and how important home field advantage could be. Let's hear from Zach and tell me if he's just blowing smoke or if maybe it means something to this defense.
Yeah, that was probably the loudest stadium I've played in since being in the NFL. So, I think definitely, it's people around the league notice, when you come to Denver, it's going to be a tough place to play. Now you got the noise with the altitude. So, we're really blessed to have them here and, hopefully keep winning, hopefully get some home field advantage and, use it to our advantage later in the year.
How important would...
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I've played in only 2 playoff games, and both times I was on the road, and it definitely is a different animal. So, it really does play a factor. So for us, we just got to keep on, being consistent, and hopefully we finish it out the right way.
Nash,
do you think, Benny, maybe that's the difference between an offense and a defensive perspective?
I mean, I don't know where he played his playoff games at or who he played them against, but
Would have been Buffalo last year. And then whoever he did it with the Cardinals, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this Broncos team right here could have gone to Buffalo last year and won. So home field advantage to me doesn't mean that much. I think this team right here could have gone to Buffalo last year and won that game.
Benny, you're speaking like Sean Payton speaks, because Sean, throughout his entire career with the Broncos, whenever he's asked a question about what makes a team good in cold weather situations or in domes or on natural grass as opposed to turf, every single time, or playing on the road as opposed to home, every single time he says, well, if you're a good team, you play good at home. You play good on the road. You play good in cold weather. And that's kind of what you're saying right there. It's like you play for Sean.
Yeah.
I think this is the most I've ever disagreed with you, Benny. I think that this is really, really, really important for the Broncos. And it's just because, 1, it makes your defense stronger, so it strengthens the strength. 2, your offense is your weak point. It makes their life easier. And 3, because Broncos have the best fans in football. Like, I get what you're saying of you're not necessarily worried about the defense traveling. For me, it's like, yes, but I'm worried for the teams that have to come into Denver to try and figure out how they're going to deal with this defense, this crowd, this altitude. Like, to me, it actually is a huge advantage. Well, it doesn't guarantee you anything, but it is a huge advantage.
Yeah, no, well, I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree that it is a huge advantage. All I'm saying is, let's not bank on just because we get, number one, I think the Broncos are getting home field advantage. That's already said and done.
So the 1 seed.
So the question is it the 1 seed in the bye? But I still think you're playing 2 home playoff games. I just don't want, that's not a reason to rest or think that it's going to be smooth sailing.
Yes.
Because you have home playoff games. So I'm saying, yes, I 100% that Denver does have the most unique home field advantage in all of the NFL because of crowd and altitude. But that doesn't mean that it's like, oh, we're for sure winning both playoff games at home.
Yeah. No, and I completely agree with that. And look at that. By the end of the show, we all found the same ground right there. Shout out for everyone who's tuning in with us today. Make sure to hit us with a thumbs up. And what's incredible is that 12 weeks into the season, we're talking about, I mean, Benny, you're saying the Broncos are going to be playing a home playoff, 2 home playoff games. And we're having this conversation of, do the Broncos want the 1 seed? Do they want the bye week?
I know.
It's
champagne problems.
And it is big time champagne problems. So what a cool time to be in Broncos country. And we appreciate everyone rolling with us, especially Cal from 303 dropped us a super chat and said, in the Taco Bell drive-through while listening to the guys talk about Bo, is that what peak living feels like?
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
We can only hope that Henry has healed enough to be able to finally have his 5-layer burrito.
Man, could you imagine tomorrow if that's his first actual meal?
Yeah.
That's a great one. I had Taco Bell over the weekend.
Hell yeah.
So
I did too.
After the holiday party.
That is a great time for that.
Perfect time.
Shout out to Benny for being on with us and throwing a hell of a Halloween or holiday party. Shout out to RK. Shout out to Dion. The Broncos are back, and so are we. We'll be back tomorrow at noon. We'll see you then.
We all silly like the mayor.